From the Georgia WeatherNet Storm Center, live severe weather coverage starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 5:26. I'm meteorologist KJ Allen here in the Georgia WeatherNet 24-hour Storm Center. Have a few severe thunderstorm warnings on the board, so we want to get to all this. And a few of these storms have produced some damage in Alabama, so that's why we're keeping a close eye on this line. It's moving at a pretty good pace now, beginning to move toward Auburn, Alabama, but the western edge of this cell is moving into the western part of Georgia over toward LaGrange. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll talk about that, but before we do that, just want to visit kind of a lone cell that if you notice, if you connect the dots from our storms here around LaGrange, and then we have a severe thunderstorm that's around Lincolnton, Georgia. This is our frontal boundary, at least the leading edge of that frontal boundary that could have been filled in with thunderstorms, and some could have been severe, but we have very stable air throughout the state this morning. Those clouds kind of held around for a little bit longer than expected in parts of North Georgia, so that helped limit some of the severe thunderstorm development through the day. So not complaining about that a bit. Let's take a look at our severe thunderstorm warning that we have up in northeast Georgia first. So this is going to be for the eastern portion of Wilkes County and most of Lincoln County. And these two warnings came out around the same time. They're issued by two different offices, so that's why we have two warnings instead of one. So they both go until 5:30, and we can see that cell just to the east of Washington, just north of Highway 378, the Lincolnton Highway here in Wilkes County. And this is showing some signs that it is weakening quite a bit, but we've watched this cell as it moved in from South Carolina. It was strong, then it kind of weakened, then it pulsed back up again. So this could re-strengthen as it moves towards southeast Wilkes County, heading down toward Columbia County and into the heading toward the western portion of the Augusta Metro. So we'll keep an eye on that one, but again, that's starting to lose a little bit of strength. Now, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 5:45, and this is going to be for portions of Troup County as well as most of Heard County. Got a little portion of Harris County in here as well, just in this southern part of the warning polygon, Harris County in there. And we see the bulk of the storm right on the Georgia-Alabama line. So we'll just take a little closer look at this. Big wind storm. All these storms today as they move through Alabama producing quite a bit of wind damage. Those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and some of the cells out to the west producing 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So this one right here looks like it's producing a possibility of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Got a little bit of an inflow here coming in, so we know that this storm is being well fed, and there's no competing storms out to the east of that. So that's why this cell is really able to ramp up. Just taking a look at the velocity. Not really showing any tight couplet of any nature, so this isn't going to be a big tornado-producing storm. Just looks like those strong winds. We see our bright greens coming in, so that's an indicator that we do have some strong gusty winds. And again, right on the state line there, and this is going to be around the Lynette community, which is just inside the state line of Alabama, right there on the border between Harris County and Troup County. So this is going to have the city of LaGrange in our severe thunderstorm warning. This cell is going to be moving toward LaGrange, and it doesn't look like there's any signs of this weakening. If anything, I'm seeing this ramp up. So as this main portion of the cell could be producing some hail. We'll take a look at the hail tracker in just a second, but this is going to be moving right toward LaGrange. So you want to be in that severe storm safe place. This, again, not a tornado producing storm, but this could produce some damage with those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And again, the possibility of some hail. Let's see if we have any severe hail markers. Doesn't look like we have that, but here is a hail core. So again, just to the east of Roanoke, Alabama, moving right into Troup County, we have the possibility of some hail. So that could be an inch in diameter aloft, and possibility, let's see what the weather service is calling this one. Let's see what we have here. Maybe quarter-size hail. All right, so yeah, so could be showing about an inch in diameter aloft, could be reaching nearly that inch diameter size, around quarter-size hail as it reaches the ground here in northwest Troup County. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. Let's get back to the velocity. We'll look at our other storms of interest. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Lee County, Alabama, and northern Russell County. These are 2 Alabama counties that we cover here on the Georgia Weather Net because of the proximity to Columbus. A lot of folks that go back and forth across the river there in Columbus. So Lee County and Russell County, Alabama, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that goes until 6:45 Eastern Time. Make sure I have that right. Yes, that's right. So we still got a ways to go for that cell is going to dissipate or at least move out of the, actually 5:45. So yeah, I figured that something was wrong with that. So 4:45 Central Time for our cell in Russell and Lee County, and then 5:45 Eastern Time. So we will watch that as it continues to move toward I-85. And it looks like overall this line, let's switch over to the Montgomery radar and we'll take another look here. Probably get a little better view. Yeah, still doesn't look as nasty as it did earlier. I've been tracking this line of thunderstorms as it moved into northern Alabama from Tennessee up around the Huntsville area. Again, a lot of wind damage reported in that direction in northern Alabama, and we had a much stronger reflectivity when those cells were in northern Alabama, but still a considerable tag on our warning out here that covers Alex City, Alabama, out to Clanton, Alabama. So that is considerable because of those very, very strong winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. So we have to take those seriously. The other warnings all surrounding it, they do not have the considerable tag on it. So standard severe thunderstorm warnings associated with this line. And we can kind of see a few breaks here going on. So that's one sign that the overall squall line is starting to weaken somewhat, hitting a little bit more unfavorable air to get the energy feeding into it. But when these storms go cellular, that's when we have to watch out for some spin. So certainly we'll keep an eye on that. With just about every weather situation, there's a pro and a con, and that's the way it looks when we start to see these cells start to break up. We know overall the line is not as dangerous, but the individual cells certainly can be. Notice actually some light reflectivity around Camp Hill, Alabama there. So we see some big breaks here going on, and another sign that this is starting to show a little bit of weakening. But still, really strong cell here in northwest Troup County, bearing down on LaGrange. So we're going to continue to monitor this severe thunderstorm and the possibility of hail. Pull up a couple of roads here just to kind of show you what we're looking at around Rocks Mill Road, heading over toward Turkey Point Drive. Old School Road could be seeing some hail here in the very near future as that cell is moving in a little bit closer. So let's take a look at the overall radar, because if you're just joining us, just want to show you what we're looking at in terms of our severe weather and our potential of severe weather. So notice again this big break. We have our cluster of cells here just north of Columbus, around LaGrange, West Point. Nothing going on in between our previously warned cell here that has been allowed to expire there in Lincoln County. But this is part of that edge of the frontal boundary where we would normally see those thunderstorms filled in, but we just had a very good stroke of luck here in the state of Georgia this morning, and namely in North Georgia with the clouds that we had overnight. They just didn't want to go away this morning, so that helped keep the atmosphere just a little bit cooler as we moved through the midday hours, and that helped cut back on some of that instability. So that's why we saw these cells just screaming toward Georgia, and once they reached the state line, they just kind of fizzled out. I thought we were going to get a severe thunderstorm warning up around the Dalton area just a few hours ago, but that one little lone cell that came through, it just really didn't do much at all, and it just kind of fizzled out. But this is still lined up a little bit more with the bulk of that line that, again, came in from Tennessee, northern Alabama, raced right through Birmingham, and now heading down toward the I-85 corridor in Alabama. And you can see a lot of energy there with severe thunderstorm warnings just draped across the state of Alabama. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details on Alabama. There's the Alabama Weather Network. James Spann and his crew are over there doing their thing and have been for hours today, and they've been very, very busy. Not a whole lot here in Georgia, but I just want to show you what we have to look forward to. If these cells hold together, and they likely will, they'll be moving into Columbus here over the next little bit. Let's go ahead and time out instead of just saying the next little bit, actually give you some times. How about that? So should be in Columbus at around 6:25 if everything stays on track. Phoenix City around 6:24. Moving through Auburn, Alabama at about 5:53. Again, these are all Eastern times, so just keep that in mind for anyone watching in Alabama. We cover a couple of counties in Alabama just since they're so close to the Columbus area, and Lee and Russell County. That's why we have our severe thunderstorm warning here. And the cell not quite into the warning polygon yet, but it is making its way. All right, let's just take another little look at the high-res radar. There we go. So yeah, this is just this latest sweep. Look at this. The last time we looked at that, we had some red in here within this line. Things are starting to ease up quite a bit. We may not even be of severe threshold as it moves down toward Auburn, but certainly severe thunderstorm here in northwest Troup County. So that's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5:45, and that does cover the city of LaGrange, and then it also has just a little piece of northwest Harris County. So we're watching this cell track right toward I-85, and maybe we can get some times on this one. Yeah, that particular cell. So looks like it should be crossing I-85 in about 13 minutes from right now, heading into northern Harris County in about 21 minutes, give or take. But these storms moving at about 43 miles per hour to the southeast and showing those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So once again, good news over here with our little cell that just kind of got tired and is just really just shrinking down to nothing. It has now crossed Highway 378 here in Wilkes County, beginning to move toward the western portion of Clarks Hill, heading down toward the southern portion of Lincoln County into Columbia County, a little McDuffie County in there. So should be crossing the lake here over the next few minutes. But Washington, a little wind picked up in Washington, but no rain associated with this cell. But that's not severe anymore, and it looks like it's done. I'm probably going to get another couple of radar cycles out of that, and then that'll be it. So we'll just focus on our storms out here in the western part of the state. Now, we will see a few more showers moving in through the evening hours and overnight tonight. I've been chatting with a few folks here on the Georgia Weather Net, just asking, hey, once this is through, are we done? I think the severe portion is done. The atmosphere just really wasn't healthy enough to even get these storms going. As you can obviously see, that's why there's just nothing happening here southeast of Atlanta. There should be thunderstorms here, but there's not. But we do have some more showers and thunderstorms moving in a little bit later on this evening. So looking at another cluster of showers. Few embedded thunderstorms in there possibly tonight around 9, 10, 11 o'clock over metro Atlanta, parts of North Georgia, and then we'll start to see those kind of slowly fade down to the south as well. This is all part of a very strong cold front, so we're going to see obviously some cooler air on the backside of this, breezy conditions, and then we clear out as we head toward Wednesday. Should be completely sunny, nice, drier air. Temperatures mainly going to be in the 70s across the state, and then we'll warm up back into the 80s over most of the state as we head toward Thursday, but still mostly sunny skies and dry weather. I mean, we're not going to complain about the rain, but we have certainly had plenty of rain. And while we wait on another sweep of the radar here, we'll just take a look and see if we can get an estimate on how much rain we've had over the last 24 hours. And mainly in South Georgia. So we've had some pretty decent rain in parts of northwest Georgia, just some isolated showers here and there. But South Georgia, down where they need it really, really badly, they have picked up a lot of rain. The radar estimate showing around 3 inches of rain. So this is going to be out toward Early County. And then also in parts of southeast Georgia, Ware County, Eccles County, where we have had those wildfires, close to 3 inches, maybe more there in extreme southeast Georgia. Up in Berrien County around Nashville, looks like maybe an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. Lakeland, about the same kind of deal. So pretty good amount of rain in parts of South Georgia where they need it the most. That's where the soil is still very, very dry. Not only do we look at how much rain we've received, but also how much rain has made it down to that 12-inch mark below the surface. That's really a critical area there, that 1 foot below the surface. because that's what allows plants to take root and get the water that they need and help keep the ground somewhat moist and damp so that we won't have these wildfires. And in southeast Georgia, where we still have that level 4 drought, still very, very low water content in that 1 foot mark. So hopefully that'll change when we get some more rain in here. Just taking a look at some temperatures, just want to get an idea of how toasty the atmosphere is. We have 90 degrees in Vidalia. We're at 88 in Albany, 86 in Americus. So still very, very warm in South Georgia. And then just taking a look at the dew point, see how much moisture we have in the atmosphere. Yep, this is absolutely enough moisture to get these thunderstorms going. Now, do we have enough instability? That's kind of the iffy part. That's why we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a good portion of western and southwest Georgia. I'll show you that overlay in a second. But once you get past that, there's just not a lot of instability to deal with, even though we do have high humidity out there. Those dew point readings, when you get into the 70s, that's extremely uncomfortable. The 60s, not pleasant at all. That's when people come down from the north and then turn right around and go back home. They don't want to deal with the 60 dew points in the 60s. But once you get into the 70s, that is not pleasant at all. So let's go ahead and take another look at the radar. We'll go high res here and take a look at our severe thunderstorm warned storm. Still holding together nicely, just on the west side of LaGrange now, so western Troup County. It's now completely inside Troup County and cross over the state line in from Alabama. So that is a big storm right there, trying to form a little bit of a notch, and this is a good, it just looks like a good classic supercell, high precipitation supercell. So a little hard to see if you're down there with all the clouds. But nonetheless, this one is a big rain producer. And also it looks like we have some hail in there as well. Let's take a look at, yep, there's our latest, just kind of a radar estimate just to the west of US 29. Just west side of LaGrange. It looks like this is going to pass to the southwest of LaGrange, the hail portion of the storm. But if you are at Upper Glass Bridge Road, there's Newton Road, Lower Glass Bridge, Kimbrough Road, have the possibility of hail. Could be quarter size in diameter. So nothing to mess around with there. And we have a new severe thunderstorm warning out now. So let's talk about it. This is going to be for southwestern Meriwether County, western Muskogee County, Troup County, and Harris County. This is going to cover pretty much all of Harris County now. And this goes until 6:15. Our radar indicating that line of thunderstorms extending from near Hillcrest to Long Cane to near Cusseta, near Waverly, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. So if you are in this warning polygon, just be ready for some very strong winds. So this is going to cover Hamilton, Whitesville, Crystal Valley, pretty much all of Columbus is in here. Let's go back to full screen. There we go. So Columbus, you are in the warning polygon, and we're going to see this cell start to cross over the next about 5 minutes before it crosses over the Harris County line, and should be in Columbus at about 6:23 if everything stays on track. Phoenix City around 6:21. West Point is moving over right now as we speak. It has a big cell. So now just right over US 29. And LaGrange, you're going to get a little piece of this storm, at least that forward flank of the storm, the forward flank downdraft. So some strong winds associated with this portion of the storm moving into LaGrange. And then our hail going to stay just to the southwest of LaGrange, but probably will be moving in fairly close to Hamilton over the next 20 to 25 minutes or so. So if you're just joining us, we are looking at portions of West Georgia in the Columbus, LaGrange area. I'll just go full screen with this. So you can get your bearings straight. So not a whole lot going on north of I-20. We have that one little small cell that's approaching I-20 toward McDuffie County now, but that was severe, but it just continues to just shrink every single radar scan that we have. It just gets less and less of an issue. But our severe weather remains right here along the Alabama line from LaGrange down to Columbus. So severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, does cover LaGrange and Columbus. And this goes until 6:15. This is for southwestern Meriwether County, western Muskogee County, Troup County, and Harris County here in Georgia. Severe thunderstorm warning over on the other side of the state line. And this is for Lee County, northern Russell County. Macon County, Alabama is in there as well. We cover Lee and Russell County as if it's one of our own counties, so that's why we're paying attention to that. We see those thunderstorms. Looks like those cells are starting to split up as well. But just moving into Auburn right now. It looks like that's going to pass just slightly to the south of Auburn, but be very, very close. And then another cell, part of this line, moving toward Opelika, Alabama, heading toward I-85. And this cell in Harris County is just not letting up at all. So we're showing the potential of about 1-inch hail in diameter. It's around Gabbettville in Troup County, again moving toward Harris County. So we could be seeing that quarter-size hail now right over US 29 around Gabbettville. And I'm just going to check in with our weather partners here. No reports of any damage yet here in Georgia, but we've been looking at these wind damage reports throughout the day in Alabama, so that's why got to take these very, very seriously. So wind gust up to 60 miles per hour still looks like is going to be the case here with our storm around LaGrange. All right, so we do have a severe thunderstorm watch while we have a little break in the action. I'll pull that up on the board and show you where that watch is. So we had out in Alabama, they started in northern part of the state and continued to move on down toward central Alabama. Here in Georgia, severe thunderstorm watch goes into effect until 10 o'clock tonight. And not a whole lot going on north of LaGrange. As you can see, so we can pretty much cut off a lot of those counties, not really have to worry about up toward Bremen and that part of Georgia, but still watching down to the south. So down to Americus and Sumter County. Right now, Albany's not in the watch area, but if it gets extended, we'll see. But I think by the time these storms get that far south, we're going to be running out of daylight. The atmosphere is already not really charged up enough, so it's only going to get less favorable for these severe thunderstorms to develop. So we'll keep an eye on it. But nonetheless, America, Sumter County, you are in there. Ellaville, you are in the watch, as well as Perry. Macon-Bibb County is in there. And so not much happening over toward the Macon area, and I don't think there will be much happening, but just to play it safe, the National Weather Service going ahead and pushing that watch all the way out to I-75 basically, and letting that sort of be the cutoff, give or take, a couple of counties on the other side of I-75. All right, so let's get back to our live radar picture here and see what we have going on in LaGrange. Troup County, yeah, showing that hail core now right over I-85. So this would not be advisable to be traveling on I-85 right now, and then it's going to continue tracking toward 185. And let's see if we can get a time on that. Probably not. We'll try it. I think it says about 6 minutes until it reaches 185. Probably going to be closer to around 10 minutes or so before it gets there, but 6 to 10 minutes, give or take, somewhere around the top of the hour, around 6 o'clock, we'll start to see that cell cross 185 and begin making its way into northern Harris County. But this is, let me zoom in a little bit closer here. So this cell is just north of the Kia plant. So the Kia plant is right in here, and that is passing right to the north of the Kia assembly plant. And again, a lot of hail in this storm. So Yeah, I think you follow what I'm thinking. You hate to see a hailstorm right over the top of a bunch of brand new automobiles. That's not good at all. But let's take a look at the at our hail monitor here and see where we are. Ooh, that's close. Well, kind of showing there could be some hail right over the Kia plant. But for the most part, it's staying up to the north, and it's going to pass over I-85, heading toward 185. So maybe everything will be good. There's no way to avoid that, but it does look like there's some hail pretty close there, Gabbettville and the Kia plant. They're in Troup County. All right, let's just check in. Make sure everything's good here. All right, good, good, good. Thank you so much for checking us out here on the Georgia Weather Net. The time is 5:51. Some counties will be dropped on the severe thunderstorm watch here momentarily, just getting that word in from the National Weather Service. So we will certainly take that. Not going to argue about that one bit. And that's not a surprise. As I mentioned, these counties, once you start getting up here above I-85 and up toward I-20 in Carroll County and that direction, just not really any concern anymore of any more severe weather. Could see a few more showers, thunderstorms come in a little bit later on tonight, but I think our severe weather risk is going to be relatively low. So yeah, starting to get the notifications now that some counties are going to be dropped off. And we'll see what that is. Maybe we can get a little sneak peek. What do you say? So, yeah, so Fayette County, Haralson, Carroll, Coweta, Heard, and Spalding counties all out of the severe thunderstorm watch. So if you are in any of those counties, just take a nice sigh of relief and say, all right, sounds good. But we'll hang on to that severe thunderstorm watch from where our cells are here down to the south. Again, Macon, you're in until 10 o'clock tonight, but just doesn't look all that probable that Macon's going to get severe weather. But we'll see. I got to watch out. I'll say something like that, and then what will happen, you'll get a little cell like what we have right here in eastern Putnam County around Phoenix, and something like that could pop up and do something really crazy. So this is all by itself here. So that's right on Highway 16 there between Eatonton and Sparta, right on the Putnam-Hancock County line. Nothing severe, but we got to watch out for little bitty cells like that that's not competing with any other cell, and it could take advantage of that moisture in the atmosphere, get enough instability, and could get something going. But for right now, the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have is in the western portion of the state from LaGrange down to Columbus. So this has Troup County, southwestern Meriwether County, just a little piece here of Meriwether County. We have portions of Harris and Muskogee County, including Columbus. And this just reminds me when this goes till 6:15. And our cell here that moved through Opelika, Alabama, that's showing a little strengthening as well. That's right on top of I-85 now at Opelika. And let's see if we got a hail core on that. It doesn't look all that promising. Maybe a little hail. I'm not sure if this is necessarily reaching the ground, but we could be seeing a few, maybe just a quick little blast of hail from Auburn to Opelika. I'll put this in motion. These cells are moving around 45 miles per hour to the southeast. And it looks like a couple of the cells looks like it's sort of strengthened a little bit. I was watching them wind down over the last couple of scans, but they call that a pulse, where they pulse up and then they kind of lose that strength and then they kind of get another wind going again, and it looks like that's what's happened. So if you go back, our scans when they were moving through Alex City, pretty strong, then it kind of pulsed down and now it's starting to pulse back up again as it crosses I-85. So that's kind of interesting. Our cell here in Troup County, northern Harris County, beginning to spread out a little bit. So that's a sign that maybe we're going to get a little bit of weakening on that. Another thing we can look at is we'll just look at that hail monitor again. It's still there. I was hoping that was going to go away. But this is going to be around Boggs Cross Road. There's Gerald Hogg Road. heading over toward Highway 219. This is all just to the north of Highway 18 right now. There's Waldrop Road. This hail core going to be moving toward Eli Callaway Road, Taylor Road, and then, as I mentioned, moving toward 185. Should just stay to the west of Pine Mountain, but it looks like it's really trying to bear down on Hamilton. It's going to be very, very close. The storm's kind of moving in this direction, so going to be pretty close to Hamilton, pretty close to Pine Mountain as well. I just wanted to kind of take a look at the velocity, not showing any rotation to be concerned with. This is just a big, strong wind event. And you can kind of see the structure of this cell, how it's bowing outward. So that's another sign that we know we have that wind that's really pushing this thing along. So 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, very, very possible with this cell over there in Troup County. And picking up another hail marker here, indicating that possibility that 1 inch in diameter hail. And now this is just to the east of the Kia assembly plant. Kia's right here. That's where we're picking up the potential of 1 inch in diameter hail. So moving in closer and closer to 185, we see that bowing section is kind of lining up with the curvature of 185. So that wind is just going directly across 185. So any high-profile vehicles, any big trucks, not a pleasant ride right now in this portion of 185 right there on the Troup-Harris County line. And it's only going to get worse over the next few minutes until the rain just really falls out of the sky in buckets, and it will. And probably, we're talking about the top of the hour, probably going to be around 6:05 as it crosses 185. Everything's still pretty quiet in Columbus right now, in Phoenix City, but we do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect. We're going to be watching this portion of the line, this particular cell. That's going to be moving into Columbus. And let's see if we can estimate the time. About 6:14 it looks like. 6:14, 6:20 for that portion of the cell to move in. No other warnings across the state. We'll just check in on a little thunderstorm that we had that was warned as it moved in from South Carolina and just kind of see what's going on there. This is now in northern McDuffie County. There's Thompson. So northern McDuffie County with the decent rainfall, not severe, but that's right there on Highway 78, Iona and Wilkes County. And there's the McDuffie County line, so it's right there on the line. And that's continuing to move away from Washington Wilkes. That's good. And we have a lot of great folks that tune in from Washington Wilkes, and I appreciate all of you. And everything's good. If you're in the eastern portion of Wilkes County, got a pretty good downpour over the last hour or so. But I don't think much in Washington. Let me know if you're in town. And certainly west of Washington, out toward Rail and the airport, I don't think anything happened. So there you go. And there's that little mischievous cell now moving into western Hancock County, beginning to move out of Putnam County. Not severe, but nonetheless, that'll sneak up on you. Everything is pretty much high and dry all around that. And then you get a cell out here like this that pops up. They're putting in high tension power lines right through this area. And they were out there working on that yesterday, Sunday afternoon, trying to get in that nice cool weather that we had across the state. So if they're out there working today, that's something that, boy, you don't want to be up on one of those big old 200-foot high-tension towers. And that's, so you want to jump off of that as quickly as you can and get to safety before that downpour comes down. Let's see if we can turn on our lightning tracker. Yeah, not showing any real lightning with that. Now on our cell here, over the last few minutes or so, had 11 strikes. So we are picking up some lightning, obviously, with this cell. Potential of hail, strong winds, heavy rain. We have everything except for tornadoes. So let's not even tempt it and talk about it. No real spin to be concerned with. All right, severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for the southern portion now of Russell County. So the National Weather Service jumping out ahead here just to make sure we were warned on this, part of this same line here. So this is Russell County, Alabama. The northern portion has already been in the warning. Now the southern portion, is in a warning as well. So all of Russell County, all of Lee County, Alabama in a severe thunderstorm warning. And this particular part of the warning here in southern Russell goes until 6:15, and that's Central Time. So they're giving that an hour and 15 minutes before they expect this line here that's right over I-85 to completely clear out of that area, heading down toward Eufaula and then moving down toward Clay County, Georgia, Stewart County, Georgia. We'll see if it holds together. But boy, this cell is just not letting up. They're on the Harris-Troup County line, just beginning to really encroach on 185, I-185. We're clear of 85 now, but very heavy rain coming down. Those strong winds out ahead of this, beginning to push in toward Pine Mountain and Hamilton. And this is going to just move right over that northern portion of Harris County. It's kind of watching our cell here that we're looking at in terms of heading toward Columbus. So this doesn't look as bad, not as bad as our cell up to the north, but this is what's going to cruise into Columbus. So we'll see some gusty winds, and again, all these storms have been having that pulse characteristic, I guess you'd say, where they get weak and then they get strong and then they kind of go back and forth. So by the time this particular cell reaches Columbus, it could strengthen again. We'll see. We will certainly see and keep an eye on it. The water cooler checking in from Washington, Wilkes. Yeah, I think it just grazed Washington. I probably won't be able to go back and loop it that far back. Well, pretty close. So yeah, at 5:36, this is where it was. So out on Lincolnton Highway, 378 there, approaching 78, heading toward the golf course. But yeah, just slightly to the east. So if you were out heading toward Lincolnton, there was quite a good downpour, and then the cell kind of grazed Tignal as well. It just stayed in this eastern portion of Wilkes County, and quite a bit of rain in Lincoln County. But yeah, it looks like Washington, west of that, everything stayed pretty quiet. I know we need the rain. We need the rain. We just don't want the severe weather. That's the only thing. And these huge downpours really don't help us a lot as well. You know, a lot of that just runs off. We just need a good soaking rain. And we got a lot of that. So, you know, again, not complaining. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had just about the best scenario that we can have this time of year. Today is the first day of June, which is the first day of meteorological summer. And I know you're going, wait, I thought it was the 21st or 22nd. That's astrological summer, but in meteorology, we keep things as easy as we can because everything else is so complicated. So we just start the season at the beginning of the month. So today, happy meteorological summer. I know a lot of us celebrate the unofficial start of summer on Memorial Day weekend. And a lot of debate over whether or not that's on the Friday or is it Monday, Memorial Day. But in the weather world, there's no debate at all. We call June 1st the first day of summer. So there you go. So that's when we start to get in this summertime pattern, pop-up thunderstorms every day. This isn't the pop-up thunderstorm variety. This is an actual frontal boundary, and it doesn't look like it. I'll tell you what, I'll give my explanation on that in a second. Let's just take another look here at our big supercell in Troup County, moving into Harris County. I just want to really look at this thing closely. Yeah, not showing any rotation to be concerned with, but very, very strong winds, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, easy with this storm. And there is our very large hail core. So this is now just south of Highway 109, this US 29, and this is showing the possibility of quarter-size hail. Look at a few roads here. Newton Road. There's Kimbrough Road, we've already mentioned. There's Lower Glass Bridge Road. Once it crosses 29, going to be heading toward Long Crane Road and Cannonville Road. And should be over I-85 in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, man, I'm looking at the old scan. I apologize. I thought we already crossed I-85. So let's get the new scan. Just erase everything I said the last 2 minutes. We were busy looking at those old scans. I apologize. So let's look at the latest hail. So this is over Marshall Williams Road. So this is live. We can verify. 6:05 p.m. If that's not the time on your browser, click the live button and get up to date. But Marshall Williams Road, heading toward Highway 219 and I-185. So this is now south of Highway 18. Again, my apologies. I knew something was wrong there because I knew that this hail core already crossed I-85, and it has. So we're all clear up at I-85 and now moving toward Interstate 185 and right on the Harris-Troup County line, mainly in Harris County now, and then edging in closer. Could be seeing some hail falling right now. There it is. There's our new scan right on top of 185. And very heavy rain, though still windy, but the main part of the wind now has crossed 185 and it's really beginning to pick up in Pine Mountain, heading toward Hamilton. So some very gusty winds there. We can tell with our gradient. See, we have nothing in Hamilton, then it goes to green and it ramps up to red in a hurry. So that's a sign that we have very, very strong gradients packed in there on that cell. And also just looking at the structure, see this bow, how it bows out. That gives you a sign that that wind is coming in from the backside of the storm. And one more little indicator. I know you're just dying to know how we know it's windy. Got a little weak area. Yep, there's another shot of it. So this is this rear inflow jet. So we know that the wind coming in from the backside of this, sort of dropping in from the mid layers down to the more toward the surface. And that's why we get a little weakening spot here on the backside of the storm. So 3 good signs that we know this one is a big wind producer. And even though this is not a tornado-warned storm, it doesn't look like it's going to produce a tornado, you get a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and that can cause quite a bit of damage. So if you're in this severe thunderstorm warned area, just go ahead and treat it like you would a storm that could produce a tornado, could produce damage. You want to be in a site-built building. You want to be on that lowest level, and you certainly don't want to be in an automobile. So things are starting to quiet down up in Troup County, so I think we'll call the all clear. But Harris County, this is where we got a lot going on. That wind coming in from the backside here, pushing this cell out. And we got another severe thunderstorm warning coming out. I think we do. All right, so I think this is going to be a big one. This is going to be, should be for Talbot, Chattahoochee, Stewart, and Marion. So let's see what we got. So it looks like we should get the polygon drawn here very soon, but we're getting word that we're going to get the warning extended out toward Talbot, Talbotton, you know, in the portions of Marion County. Probably we may get Buena Vista in there involved in it. We'll see. So they are working on the polygon as we speak. So I just want to give you a heads up that the National Weather Service is expecting this storm to hold together, maintain that severe strength as it moves. Looks like it's going to be moving right toward Talbotton in Talbot County. Get a little bit more of Meriwether County possibly in there over to Manchester. So while we wait on that, we'll go ahead and take a look at our severe thunderstorm watch. And this is up to date now. Tell you what, let's clear some of this off of here and take a look at the watch. So this is starting to pare down a great deal. A lot of those counties up here, as I mentioned, toward I-20, you're in the clear now, so everything's in good shape. And honestly, Troup County is going to be in the clear, but we still have our watch in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. And this does impact Columbus, Sumter County, Americus, Macon-Bibb, Houston County is in there. And then even down to our friends in Cordele, in Vienna, all the way out to Rochelle, Hawkinsville, you're in there. And we have a new severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued for Southwest Georgia. So let's see how long this is going to go till 11 p.m. Okay, so we were talking about Albany was not in it yet, but now we've just got this severe thunderstorm watch. So that means that conditions still likely to be favorable for severe weather over to Albany, Blakely, down to Donaldsonville, and into Bainbridge. Severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, just going to need to post this for our radio partners. Somewhere in the country there's a tornado warning, but not around here. We'll take a look and see where that is. Is that out west somewhere? Oh, okay, there it is. Kind of worried about, I saw a tornado warning. We get notification of how many. So right now across the country, there are 22 severe thunderstorm warnings, 4 flash flood warnings, and there's 1 tornado warning, and that's up in Colorado. So we won't worry about that. Prowers County, Colorado. Never heard of it. If you're from Prowers County or know someone out there, let them know there's a tornado warning out there in Colorado. So let me grab a couple of things here. We need to just post this for our radio partners in Albany. If you live in southwest Georgia and Albany, you can get the Georgia Weather Net on great radio stations like V101.7 and Georgia 104.5, Rock 103, 107.7, and WALG. So we want to get this graphic to them. All right, there is our new severe thunderstorm warning. As I mentioned, just kind of giving some warning more toward the upstream of this storm. And so this is going to be for northwestern Marion County, southwestern Meriwether County, Muskogee County, Chattahoochee County, northwestern Stewart County, southeastern Troup County, western Talbot County, and Harris County till 7:15, hour and 3 minutes from right now. Watching those thunderstorms all lined up, you can see on radar, around Pine Mountain, Callaway Gardens to Mountain Hill. These storms taking their sweet time, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. And our main threats with this line will be those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, also the potential of quarter-size hail. So if you're in Columbus, you're in this warning polygon. Talbotton, Cusseta, Manchester, West Point, Bibb City, Brantley, Shiloh, Green Island Hills, Juniper, Cotulla, Waverly Hall, Warm Springs, Hamilton. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15, so nothing happening right now. Everything's pretty quiet, but you're certainly seeing the lightning off to the west, northwest, and hear the thunder starting to rumble, wind starting to pick up, and probably a little cooler air starting to move in from this cell. But yeah, it looks like this is still going to be the severe threshold as it moves down toward Talbotton and Cusseta, almost to Buena Vista. I wondered if it was going to they were going to warn it, but going to be right there on the edge. Pretty close, but not all the way there. It'll probably get extended out if it holds together, but we'll see. All right, I'm just going to take a quick little time out and just go full screen with our radar, and I'm just going to update our radio partners in southwest Georgia on our severe thunderstorm watch that just mentioned a moment ago. So bear with me just a moment, and we'll get back to our coverage. All right. There was a time I could do all the social media posting and do the video and everything all at the same time, but it takes me too long. I've noticed that. If I will take a break, and I know you all are patient enough to hang out with me for a few minutes while we get it all together, I can get it done in like 10 seconds. If I talk and do everything else, it takes me like 5 minutes, and sometimes it never gets done. So I appreciate your bearing with me there for just a second as we got our radio partners all up to date on what's happening there in the Albany area. With that severe thunderstorm watch, it goes until 11 p.m. now, so I'll cover all that in just a second if you just joined us, but just want to look at our severe thunderstorm warned storm. Now really starting to push in to Hamilton and Harris County. Winds very, very strong. That cell capable of producing quarter-size hail, moving in closer as we speak. I think Pine Mountain's going to miss the hail, but we see that core is just flashing at us saying very, very strong. Danger, danger. And here's a look at the hail monitor. Yeah, still showing pretty decent hail core. This is just to the north of Highway 116. We're west of Hamilton. This is going to be, see if we can get some more roads here, toward Hamilton Pleasant Grove Road. Once it crosses 116, lower Blue Springs Road. And we see Graddock Road and Hardage Road. So this is going to be very, very close to Hamilton. So hopefully you've got your car under a carport or under some sort of structure. Get it out of there, because that is getting a potential of quarter-size hail moving in toward Hamilton, Georgia. And just kind of revisiting all of our severe thunderstorm warnings. We have portions of Troup County and Harris County, western Talbot County, all of Muskogee, all of Chattahoochee, northwest Marion County, northern Stewart County. Not quite to Lumpkin, but Louisville, you are in there, as well as Omaha, Georgia. Beautiful community of Omaha right there on the river. And across the state line over in Russell County under 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, just to make sure that you got the message. So northern Russell and southern Russell County under a severe thunderstorm warning. And Lee County, Alabama, also under a severe thunderstorm warning. The main threat there in Lee County, it's out of Auburn and Opelika now and beginning to move toward the southeast corner of Lee County, toward Columbus now, over Smith Station, just north of Crawford, beginning to move toward Bibb City and Phoenix City, Alabama. So this is what we're looking at just right here on the edge. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. Yeah, so there's Smith Station. So beginning to move in toward Bibb City. There's Phoenix City just on the other side of the river. Columbus, of course, in Georgia. So that's going to be in Columbus in the next 5 minutes. And it is severe. Let me see if we have any hail on this one. Doesn't look like much. Got the hail marker just to the northwest of Seal, Alabama, so we could be seeing some hail right here. But if we're lucky, we'll dodge the hail. We're showing the potential of something going on there, but I'm not sure if that's really happening or not. But nonetheless, there is still that threat that we could see some hail come out of this as it moves into Columbus. But certainly hail just to the west and southwest of Hamilton. And if you are just joining us, I always get folks that say, what about my town? I don't want to hear about places I've never heard of. That's fine, I get it. We cover all of Georgia and a few counties in Alabama and one in North Carolina and South Carolina. We join in on the fun as well, a few counties there. But so this is what's happening across the state. Still very warm and humid in South Georgia. We still have the makings of some severe weather. If this line were connected, and it's just not, but here's our leading edge of the frontal boundary, stretching up to Columbia, South Carolina, kind of going through Augusta. We had a couple little cells there that were severe as they moved in from South Carolina, but now that's just kind of just dwindled down to nothing. And there's just nothing here between Augusta, over Milledgeville, toward Macon, but that's where our line would have been if we would have had more instability earlier in the day in North Georgia, but it just didn't really have enough to develop. But there was plenty of instability. I mean, it was just a completely different air mass over northern Alabama. So that's why these thunderstorms were able to really develop, multiply, hold together, and continue tracking down to the southeast. So up to the north, we're just looking at mainly some light to moderate showers from Atlanta, Villa Rica, out to Carrollton. Some light showers, looks like, out toward Cartersville. Maybe a little bit of rain in Rome. It's starting to move out of Rome, it looks like. But our severe weather risk is really going to be done. We'll see some more showers, a few thunderstorms as we move into the evening and late night hours tonight. But I don't really see a whole lot more severe weather necessarily once we get this system out of here. But we do have the extension of the severe thunderstorm watch, which now covers a good portion of extreme southwest Georgia, including Albany and Blakely and Bainbridge. So this goes until 11 p.m. Our severe thunderstorm watches to the north of this, issued earlier, that goes until 10 o'clock. And out of abundance of caution, they've gone ahead and put Macon in there, but that's going to be right on the edge of any severe weather activity. Most of this is just going to stay just on the state line, it looks like, maybe rolling in just a little bit. But we're going to hang around here and just keep an eye on these storms. And we'll go back to our high-res radar. And one good thing, all of our severe thunderstorm warnings that we have here in Georgia and stretching over to Alabama, they're all standard severe thunderstorm warnings. So they don't have the considerable tag or catastrophic tag. We've had several that had that considerable tag on it in Alabama because of wind gusts that were up closer to around 70 miles per hour. But I haven't seen that tag pop up in a while. So that's a sign that we're starting to get these storms to just, I don't want to say weaken because they're still severe, but they are starting to cycle down just a little bit. So not bad at all, nothing to complain about. Still no damage reports to speak of here in Georgia. A lot of reports and pictures coming in from Alabama. Let's see, Grant, Alabama. This is a, let's see if we can pull this up. So this was in Grant, Alabama. That's hail, and that looks like golf ball size, maybe larger. How about that? And let's see if we can find some more photos. This is going to be in Langston, Alabama. I know this is the Georgia WeatherNet, but just want to kind of show you what these storms have been doing all day today. And that is a very, very large tree that looks like it came down very close to a camper here. So boy, you know, we talk about you don't want to be in a mobile home when these severe storms roll through. Being in a camper is even worse. These big trees, I mean, that just uprooted this big, massive tree that just fell down on that. Just kind of scanning through and see if we can get some more photos. Oh, there's another big tree down. It's kind of a small picture. Let's see if we can see that. Now, a big tree, looks like on the back side of a house there. So all these in Alabama. I haven't seen any pictures of any damage here in Georgia. Here's another big hailstone. Take a look at that. So that was in northern Alabama a little earlier today. All right, so yeah, no, just I'm looking at our connection to the National Weather Service here, just kind of seeing if we have any reports of any damage there as the storm crossed in from Alabama up in Troup County, and not a word. And usually we get a lot of updates out of Troup County. The EMA office there always very, very good about getting information out and letting us know exactly where things are happening. But no reports of any damage, so that's good. Got a new sweep of radar here. Let's just kind of take another look and see how that hail core is looking. I'll let that load up. I know it's there. I have to switch radar sites. Yeah, let's switch over here to Montgomery radar and see if we can get another view. All right, there we go. So we're still showing this hail core just to the south of Hamilton. Had somebody checking in from Waverly Hall. So this is going to be just out to the west of you, and this should just make it to the southeast. Let's go back and look at reflectivity. Yeah, so you can see these storms tracking southeast, moving around 40 miles per hour now. So I think the hail core, if you're in Waverly Hall, should just barely miss you. But that heavy rain is going to be coming down in just about, we'll give it about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes for the really heavy rain. And the wind should also be picking up as well. Thanks for checking in, Emma. So yeah, again, no threat of a tornado, it doesn't look like here, but the hail core is in this portion of the storm. That's going to continue pushing there in the southeast Harris County. So you check on, just let your friend know, hey, that big storm's coming, and then let me know how it goes on the backside. Just some light showers now up north of LaGrange. We had those strong thunderstorms that moved through. Now just a little light rain. And let's check in on Columbus. Yeah, that is right on the river now, so just beginning to move in to downtown Columbus. And we had the potential, that's all the possibility, some hail. Yeah, not really showing any hail now over Columbus, so that's good. A couple of sweeps ago, it was trying to threaten, but it doesn't look as bad. Here's another sweep in Harris County, and that's right over Highway 27 now, with the potential of some hail that could be around quarter size in diameter. One of our radars here showing could be 3/4 of an inch in diameter, just to the east of Fortson, south of Cotulla, north of Crystal Valley in Muskogee County. Let's go back to full screen. So Crystal Valley is about right in here. So this is where we're looking at the potential. Again, one of my radar tools saying 3/4 of an inch, that's pretty big. But quarter size hail, very possible right over Highway 27. Look at a couple more roads. That's right over Bon Acre Road. There's Gray Rock Road, Rip Shin Road. Boy, don't say that 3 times too fast. Get in trouble. Maybe a little hail core up around Highway 315, up around Laurel Ridge Road. So that's crossing US 27 right now. So there's, there you go. There's 27, and then moving over toward 27A. So severe thunderstorm warning. Still in effect for Troup County technically, but you are in the clear. Harris County really getting the brunt of it right now. We have the southwestern portion of Meriwether County, but I think that's not necessary. That storm has moved past anything threatening Warm Springs or anywhere there in southwest Meriwether County. Western Talbot County, you are not in the clear. It's moving your way, going to be in your neighborhood in the next 30 minutes or so. So that does include the city of Talbotton. All of Muskogee County, Columbus, you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. Chattahoochee County, northwestern Marion County, and also the northern portion of Stewart County, including Omaha, Louisville, Renfro, and Chattahoochee County. Cusseta, you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. So it is heading your way. All clear in Crawford, Alabama. All clear in Blecker and Salem and Society Hill out in Alabama. Auburn obviously in the clear. Boy, it really came down in buckets in Auburn just in the last 30 minutes. And very, very heavy rain continues to fall. The main brunt of this storm is just right over central Harris County. Beginning to move out of Hamilton finally, but the wind picking up in Waverly Hall. The rain will be following very, very shortly. Up in Shiloh, going to be on the northern part of the storm, going to pick up some wind, but I don't think really anything severe to be concerned with up in Shiloh. There's Pine Mountain. There's the southwestern corner of Meriwether County, all clear in the polygon, but in the clear. And there's another sweep. Look at that. Just that core is just not going away. Again, we'll call out some of these roads. I love this road, Ripshin Road. I know exactly where I'm going to move next time I move. That's where I want to be. Ripshin Road. Heading over toward Warm Springs Road, 27 alternate, and then starting to pick up some heavy rainfall now in northern Muskogee County. Got some more counties going to be dropped off on the severe thunderstorm watch. That's good news. I get the notifications. The watch vibrates, so I know something's happening, and normally it's a new warning being issued, but I like it whenever they're peeling some of the counties back. I have a feeling Harris County and Troup County, well, Harris County is going to stay in there for a while, but Troup County is all in the clear now, so everything's going to be fine. But we'll get a few more counties off of the severe thunderstorm watch. But just keep in mind, we have 2 watches that are currently in effect here in Georgia and portions of Alabama. Watch number 1, and again, we're all clear on this northern portion of the watch. This goes until 10 o'clock tonight. And watch number 2, there's Albany, there's Providence Canyon, there's Clay County, there's Bainbridge, there's Donaldsonville, right there's Donaldsonville, and there's Lake Seminole. So this is all until 11 o'clock. Randolph County, there's Leesburg, Lee County's in there, Calhoun County, under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock. And we'll see if these storms hold together. We'll really need this watch, but the Weather Service just keeping an eye on it, mainly because of the history of all the damage and all the wind that these cells have produced as they were moving through Alabama. When it has some good history behind it, there's certainly a good reason to hold on. As far as the rest of the state is concerned, let me go to the low-res radar. So I just want to show you what's happening across the rest of the state. Everything's quiet here in North Georgia, and we'll see a few more showers rolling in later tonight, but I think our severe weather risk, it has pretty much dropped off. First of all, pretty stable air all day today. We did get a good little heating over the last few hours of the day. I know it got fairly warm in parts of Atlanta and in Athens, but we'll see a few more showers pop up. But this is this main line, and there's this huge break from just east of Columbus all the way up to Columbia now. So Columbia, South Carolina to Columbus, Georgia, there's just not much going on in between, and that's where we would have seen those thunderstorms filled in, but we just didn't have the right atmosphere over the state of Georgia, specifically North Georgia this morning, to accommodate that. The atmosphere was completely the opposite in northern Alabama. It was very unstable, a lot of humidity, just enough lift, enough of that juice that we need to get the atmosphere to get these thunderstorms going. And so that's why these cells held together and then developed as they moved through Birmingham. We're really watching them through Huntsville earlier today, and then through Birmingham, now moving through the Montgomery area, crossing I-85 now. But because of this morning, there just wasn't enough there to really get that line going. So there's just not much happening. A little cell, let's go back and take a look at the high resolution radar that we pay the big money for. And let's take a look at Augusta. Well, I thought there was something there, maybe not. Got a little outflow boundary forming in South Carolina near Columbia, so that's a sign that the atmosphere is very warm out ahead of those cells. Oh, here it is. Yeah, very, very light. This was severe earlier, just an hour or so ago, as it moved into the state of Georgia, moved up around Hart County and Elbert County, and then it just kept cycling down, popped back up briefly, and then that was about it. So now it's just light rain now, moving in toward Harlem. So starting to move in toward the western part of Columbia County, moving in toward Richmond County. And then over into, there's Warren County and McDuffie County, just some very light showers there over I-20 near Thompson. But nothing severe. And nothing else severe across the state. So if you're watching anywhere in the state of Georgia other than around the Columbus area, around the Hamilton area, Cusseta and toward Talbotton, that's where it's a little sketchy right now. That's why we're live. Wow, these cells here in Alabama really starting to show even more weakening. Still severe, but that is just not what they looked like before. But our cell here crossing into Muskogee County from Harris County, right now over the alternate 27. Still very, very heavy rain, the potential of hail coming down right there on the Muskogee-Harris County line. Let's take another look at our hail monitor. Yeah, there it is. Woo-wee. Take a look at that. Let's pull up some more roads. So there's Garrett Road, right over the top of Garrett Road. And there's Highway 80. Once it crosses Highway 80, going to be moving toward Chatsworth Road. 10th Armored Division Road, so getting into the Fork. So really between the alternate 27 and US 80 is where we have that hail core, mainly in northern Muskogee County. Still possibility of a little bit of hail just to the southwest of Waverly Hall, south of Cotulla in Harris County. And it looks like it is going to be very windy too out in the eastern portion of Muskogee County. There's that tight gradient here on our reflectivity, so indicating strong wind, so could be seeing those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in eastern Muskogee County. Beginning to move in that wind beginning to pick up in northern Chattahoochee County. And Emma checking in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. I'm glad everything's good with your friend, and glad she has a basement too. Man, I tell you what, that can really make a big, big difference. Not always 100% necessary. I know you see a lot of these movies of people out in Kansas and in Nebraska, and they get in their storm cellar and all that. Certainly is a good thing to have, but just being in that lowest level in a most interior room can make a tremendous difference as far as being able to keep yourself safe and keep your pets safe. So that is good news. Nicole checking in. Yeah, Wilkes County, everything's all clear now. Had that little cell. Let me note if you got any rain where you were, Nicole, because it looked like it was just east of Washington, right over 378. It kind of came in east of Tignal and continued moving south through eastern Wilkes County. And from what we're hearing, there wasn't really anything in Washington itself, and certainly west of town, nothing going on. But we can go take a look at, let's pull up Atlanta radar. And so yeah, there's just absolutely nothing going on out here in the eastern portion of Georgia. There's Washington, Wilkes County, so all quiet. I may see a couple of little showers pop up again later this evening, but nothing really significant to worry about. And we'll just take another look here at our storm moving into northern Muskogee County. now in southeast Harris County. And the majority of that hail, let's take another look at the hail monitor. It takes a second just to load up to get that information. There it is, still very bright red, right over alternate 27, over US 80 now, and moving toward the Highway 22. Oh, there we go, we got to get back over here. There we go, where 22 splits off here. That's where we're looking at this hail core, with the potential of quarter-size hail. Could be a little larger. Saw some of those pictures from northern Alabama earlier today. It looked like golf ball and even larger size hail. So I think we're certainly seeing some hail as it crosses US 80 there in eastern Muskogee County, outside of Columbus. Emma, thank you so much. I appreciate those kind words. We've got several people that tune in here to the WeatherNet that get storm anxiety. And the main thing is there's so much stuff on the internet with all the hype just to get you scared and worried. That way you like and click and share and they get 10 gazillion views. I don't need 10 gazillion views. I'm happy if we have a handful of folks that just want to have the truth, no hype. I don't think there's any reason for all the hype. This is not about making money. This is about getting out the word. And so you're never going to get hype. There's never going to be fear. I'm not going to scream and yell unless it's necessary. But I've been doing this for several years and I have not gone into complete hysteria yet. And I've seen a lot. But these storms are not anything worth being in hysteria over. Now, there are some YouTubers and Facebook pages that will act like this is the end of the world, and I get it. They're trying to make a buck. It's not a good way to make a buck, but that's what they do. But anyway, a couple folks with storm anxiety, they've said to me, just appreciate what you do, and it calms them down, and that's good with me. If there are two people in this state that just can take a deep breath and not be as anxious about these storms by tuning into the Georgia WeatherNet, then it's all worth it. So I appreciate the kind words. And sometimes we get people with they get irritated about something, and that's okay. But we're not here to cause any problems. So let's just take a look at the rest of this storm. Enough problems in the world, right? Who needs problems on Facebook? This was supposed to be a fun place to go. And remember back in the day, they would share pictures of what they ate, and that was all people did on Facebook. And then next thing you know, politics got involved and all that kind of stuff. All right, severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect. It's this western portion of Talbot County, including Talbotton, but I think the bulk of this is going to stay well to the south of Talbotton, and even Geneva going to pick up some heavy rain, but I don't think it's really going to be severe necessarily. But we are going to be watching into Marion County. We want to watch into Buena Vista. This is going to be moving that way, and I don't think it's going to weaken much before it gets there. So we may get this warning extended to cover the rest of Marion County. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. Just give you a heads up. And Cussita could be splitting these storms. Our main cell up here probably going to stay just to the north of Cussita. We have some strong storms here moving in toward the Omaha area, right on the river. But along Highway 280, maybe just a little bit of break in the action. So that would be good news. But just want you to be alert. Buena Vista and northern Marion County. Just know that those storms are heading your way. Tazewell in Marion County, going to be heading your way probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Folks in Doyle, just be on the lookout. New York City, wowee. It's been a long time since I've been to New York City. The first time I went to New York City was in December of 2001, and wanted to go up and just put some tourist dollars back into the city after the tragic events, September of 2001, and what an experience. And then I think I went back one other time after that. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Get me tickets to Saturday Night Live, Emma. Can you do that? If you can do that, I'll hop a plane up there. They're off right now, but next season, season 52, that'd be kind of a fun experience. I know everybody says they're not funny anymore, but it'd still be kind of fun, wouldn't it? All right. Just to say you did it one time. All right, big picture radar here at 646, coming up on 646. There it is. Nothing happening in North Georgia anymore. From our friends in Washington Wilkes, all quiet. For my friends in Statesboro, everything's quiet for right now. Still warm and humid. That atmosphere feels like it could cook up some storms, but we just don't have a lot of, enough lift, enough instability in there to get it going. But we would, if we did, we would have had our line kind of stretching through here. So just imagine this imaginary line. Storms probably would have been rolling out of Macon, more toward Perry, in through Houston County right now, and probably up around Rennes and Wadley, probably just through Augusta by now. But it's not there. It's just completely blank, and it's been that way all day today. And I've said it multiple times already. That was thanks to extra cloud cover that just kind of hung around a little bit longer this morning in North Georgia than originally forecasted. So not complaining about that. That kept the severe weather away. Obviously, we would like to have seen a little bit more rain. Could have used that, but our storms here, this is all to blame for the instability in northern Alabama. And that's where this line has come from. And that's why we still have these storms that are holding together and still considered severe. I just wanted to give you that big picture look. And as I mentioned, we could see a few more showers later tonight. And if you want, we can go look at the latest modeling. And we'll take a look at what that looks like. So I'll log into that. And while I do that, I'll just go full screen with this so you can see these storms moving through Muskogee County, just beginning to edge into Chattahoochee County as we speak. And let's see if we can find a good weather model that we all can agree on. How about that? Is it possible? Absolutely. Let's see. 6 p.m. Let's forward this one thing here. All right, will this work? This will kind of work. There we go. All right, so here's our weather modeling, what things should look like here in the next 12 minutes. So we kind of want to look at what our current radar looks like and how close is it to the weather model. That's the first trick to this game, which is somewhat science and somewhat telling the future. So yeah, the model's pretty close. It's actually still showing that little bitty cell that was around Augusta, still showing up there, but we know that's kind of faded out. So whatever we see on this going forward is probably not going to be the case. It's probably going to be gone. Yeah, there it is on our next sweep here at 8 o'clock. So it's gone. So we see our showers still clustered around Columbus, beginning to move in toward Albany, but breaking up quite a bit. Maybe a few thunderstorms moving out in toward through Stewart County and Chattahoochee County by about 10 o'clock tonight. And then, as I mentioned, got a few more thunderstorms that could pop up in the parts of North Metro Atlanta, up around Cherokee County, Canton, Gordon County. Could see a couple little pop-up showers. Nothing really severe. Kind of interested to see this cluster of storms in the upstate of South Carolina as late as 11 o'clock tonight. And that seems to want to kind of close in on Augusta. So Aiken and North Augusta could see a few of those thunderstorms. Looks like it's just trying to stay right outside of Georgia. So something about the Savannah River there keeping those storms away. But look, nothing really happening in southwest Georgia. And those little cells later tonight, again, around 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight, we could see just a few little scattered showers in parts of North Georgia. But all that starts to fade out overnight. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. It looks like 3, 4 o'clock. We'll see some thunderstorms possibly around the Savannah area. Outside of that, pretty quiet as we get started tomorrow morning. And we did have a level 1 out of 5 severe weather risk for South Georgia. We'll see if that's still on there or not. We'll just find out together. Let's see, our convective outlook. This is today. So already some changes here. We had this level 2. It's our our stronger shade of yellow here, pushed in the parts of northwest Georgia. That's been pushed back. Obviously, our severe weather risk is gone now, but still level 1 covering Macon all the way down to Vidalia toward Tifton. And then our day 2 outlook, which starts tomorrow morning at 8, still showing South Georgia in that level 1. That's something. I'm not really seeing a lot of that on the modeling. It could be later in the day. Let's see. Let's see what the model looks like. Yeah, okay. So tomorrow evening, let me go back to this. Here's our weather model. This is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 4, 5, 6, we see those storms starting to develop again. So level 1 out of 5 severe weather risk for South Georgia, including Albany, Douglas, Brunswick, Valdosta, Thomasville, Pelham, Bainbridge. And we see those cells start to kind of continue to push to the south and then clear out of here as we head into the overnight hours, late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And then things get completely clear as we head into Wednesday. We're expecting mostly sunny skies across the state. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s in North Georgia, upper 70s, low 80s in South Georgia. Lower humidity, that'll be a big deal. Been dealing with very humid conditions in coastal Georgia. Today's heat index in Brunswick was 101. So that's what it feels like when you take those temperatures in the 80s, low 90s, and then you factor in that humidity. So it's been very, very muggy in really all of South Georgia, especially toward the coastline. But we'll get some drier air in on Wednesday, and then Thursday, sunshine. That sunshine warms us up a little bit, but still rain-free. We'll have a little break from the rain, and then it looks like the atmosphere gets a little mixed up again as we head into next weekend. So we like the sunshine for a little bit, but again, we need the rain. So I don't mind taking a break from the rain for a couple of days if we can get some showers back in. All right, let's get back to our current weather. So just kind of wanted to show you what the modeling was looking like there. Another severe thunderstorm warning. I think they're going to extend this down the line. Let's see. Oh, we have some damage pictures coming in from Troup County, so I'll get to that in just a second. But we have another warning coming out. And we had a report of dime-size hail in LaGrange. So that came out just a few minutes ago. There's our new warning. So this one, again, this is just covering, really just saying, hey, we have this line coming. Let's just cover everybody sort of down the line there, let everybody know what's happening. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until, make sure this is Eastern time, yeah, 7:45. So here in Georgia, it's going to cover Clay County, Randolph County, northwestern Calhoun County, northwestern Early County, and Quitman County. Possibility of 60-mile-an-hour wind gust with these thunderstorms. And this is moving pretty much, let's put it in motion here. I think it's kind of moving almost due south, sort of south-southeast now at 40 miles per hour. And we can time this out. Looks like it's going to be in Eufaula, Alabama at 7:08 if everything stays on track. Eufaula at 7:08. Great place to eat. They have a Cajun restaurant there called the Cajun Corner. I don't know if they're still open or not, but if they are, this is not an endorsement or a sponsorship. I'm just telling you, if you wake up one day and find yourself in Eufaula, Alabama, go to the Cajun Corner. Tell them KJ sent you. They'll say who? Cuthbert at 7:30, Abbeville 7:35, Fort Gaines 7:37, the arrival time. And maybe, let's see if we can figure out, kind of estimate Blakely, maybe. Well, I may have done too much. I think everything's frozen up. All right, so we'll revisit. Yeah, everything's gone crazy here. So we'll go over to the backup radar for just a moment and restart. Yeah, I really made this mad. I was just trying to time out Blakely because I thought that folks in Blakely would want to know. But Yeah, the radar is just very, very displeased with the situation. But that's why we have 2 radars, because you just never know when something bad can happen. I'm not blaming the folks in Blakely, but nothing bad happened until I mention them, if you noticed that. All right, we're back to the other radar here. Let's take a look at our cell with our severe thunderstorm that we've been tracking as it moved in from Lee County, Alabama, and showing another hail marker here, and this is showing about 1/8 of an inch in diameter possible. And this is just north of Cusseta. There's Cusseta. So right inside this portion of the cell, we could be seeing over 3/4 of an inch in diameter hail aloft. Doesn't necessarily mean that's making it to the ground, but it is very possible that we're seeing some sort of hail there in northern Chattahoochee County. And Vicki checking in. All right, Vicki says, I just may get tickets to SNL. My goodness, what a productive day. I knew coming in here and doing this weather today was going to pay off. That's outstanding. Well, Vicki, you have a great friend, because she was checking on you, making sure that everything was good. In Waverly Hall, she said, not really sure where it is, but I want to make sure that my friend Vicki's all right. And I'm glad that it wasn't all that bad there. It looks like it just kind of passed just to the southwest of you just a little bit as far as the hail is concerned and all that. So glad everything worked out there, and everything should be pretty quiet in your neighborhood now. Looks pretty good. Just looks very light rain, if anything at all. But we still have officially 3 severe thunderstorm warnings here in Georgia, and then 1 over in Alabama that we are talking about because it covers both of our Alabama counties that we cover here on the Georgia Weather Net. So just to kind of run down all of them, I know this is just a mess of yellow polygons, trying to keep it all straight. But Muskogee County, you're still in the severe thunderstorm warning, but you're pretty much in the clear at this point. It has crossed the line in the Chattahoochee County across the river, so no problems anymore for Muskogee and Columbus. You're all good. And really, Talbot County, the southern portion of Talbot County is in a couple of warnings, and I think that that cell is going to stay south of you, so you're in good shape there. But Marion County moving your way, moving through Chattahoochee County, Schley County under a severe thunderstorm warning, western Sumter County, Webster County, Stewart County, all of Quitman County, all of most of Randolph County, including Cuthbert and Coleman, Clay County, and northern Early County, severe thunderstorm warning. And that goes until 7:45. So we'll see if these cells hold together that long. And the latest on that hail core, now northeast of Cusseta. Let's take a look and see if we can spot it here on this radar. Should be, oh, I'm gonna go back up there. There it is. So yeah, there's Cusseta. I think this has kind of moved a little bit more toward the southeast now. So we'll take a look at a couple of roads nearby. So that's Plymouth Road. There's the latest scan. So this is over Red Diamond Road. Got a little core that is right over Cusseta, but I think most of this is going to be just the northeast. There's Red Diamond Cactus Road heading toward State Route 137. So we'll be watching out around 137 where it goes into Highway 26, the highway that connects Cusseta with Buena Vista. What was that road? Mud what? Let's see. Mud Ridge Road. All right. That's a great thing. South Georgia, They have some of the best named roads in the world. I was going to say in the country, but they do get creative. All right, here's another sweep of radar. Yeah, this latest sweep here showing a little bit of intensification here on that part of the cell just east of Cusitas. So west of US 280, you're going to be all right in Chattahoochee County. But east, the eastern portion of Chattahoochee County still got a little ways to go. Got some more counties going to be dropped off of the severe thunderstorm watch. We like that. Here's our severe thunderstorm warning, the latest one issued. It covers a lot of real estate, including Cuthbert and Morris, Georgetown, Fort Gaines, Carnegie, Coleman, Bluffton. Not quite to Blakely, but northern portion of Early County. So there's Blakely. There's Enterprise Church is about right here. So that's about the cutoff. So if you're familiar with northern Early County and Enterprise Church, Oak Grove Church heading out toward the river, that's just inside the polygon. So this little northern piece of Early County is in there. I'm just putting the radar in motion. See if we can pull up a couple more times here. So it's 7:02. So it looks like if everything stays on track, Lumpkin, in the next 5 minutes, you're going to see the line heading right over the top of you. It is severe, not showing any tornado threat, but we do have the potential of some hail, of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Buena Vista, 7:13. Richland, 7:14. There's Preston at 7:25. Ellaville, 7:36, as well as Cuthbert. And home of Jimmy Carter, Plains, Georgia, 7:39. Shellman at 7:44. And our cell, that's really trying to go almost due south at this point. It's going to eventually kind of break off, I think, from our cluster of cells up around Cusitas, but we're looking at Newton at 7:37. I think we have mainly, these are a lot of Alabama towns in here. Let's see. Let's just estimate Fort Gaines at around 7:29. Coleman's roughly here. That's going to be at about, 7:29. Edison in Calhoun County, around 7:45. But this cell is just not as impressive as it was coming blasting through Alabama. All right, so light rain on the backside of this. So, we had some pictures. I've been talking about this. West Point Road at Bradfield Drive. This isn't anything too terrible, but, is that a power line down on a car? Let's see, let's go full screen with this. Yeah, so this is in Troup County. I'm not sure if this car drove into that line. That's a utility line. I'm trying to, maybe that's a cable, like TV cable as opposed to a power line. But it looks like that car, it's right under the hood. Yeah, interesting story to tell, how that happened. Yeah, that's a utility line there that's down. And that tree just encroaching on the road. There you go, another shot of that. Yeah, that could be a power line. A little hard to tell, but nonetheless, you don't want to try to figure it out. If you look in there really closely, just treat every line as if it's a charged power line. You just want to get out of there, get out of your car and just get out. They've got the road closed off for good reason, so they're getting that cleared up. that's it. Is that all as far as any storm pictures are concerned? So that was in Troup County, West Point Road at Bradford Drive. Tree and a utility line of some sort was down. So we're going to get some of those eastern counties on the severe thunderstorm watch that I was telling you about will be dropped off. They're just going to kind of do a little housekeeping on that. And I've been kind of talking about that since we've been broadcasting that, yeah, there we go, already happening. So Macon-Bibb, Houston County, you're out of there now. So this little watch is just dwindling down to almost nothing. It's like a bar of soap in the shower. It's just kind of just shrinking down, you know. So here it is. So that still goes until 10 o'clock tonight. That does cover America, Sumter County. And then we have our second watch that goes until 11. Not sure if that's going to be necessary, but, you know, they're going to hang on to it just to be safe. But these counties, we had counties up all the way to Macon, all the way to Macon-Bibb that was in there, but that has been dropped off. Just not necessary. That line's not going to reach up that far. And even if it did, the actual portion of the line has already moved south of Macon. Nobody knew it because there was nothing associated with it, but there was an imaginary line, an imaginary leading edge of that frontal boundary that did move through Macon over the last hour and didn't produce a drop of rain, and certainly nothing severe. But boy, this little storm in eastern Chattahoochee County is not messing around. I mean, it is just, it doesn't want to stop. Let's take another look at the radar. You got to zoom in there pretty close, but you can see all the flashing colors and lights going on here. So that's that hail core that continues to be prevalent about 5 miles or so east of Cusseta, around Highway 26, beginning to approach the Marion County line. Yeah, that is going to be, I mean, that's going to be very, very close to Buena Vista. Very close. Probably going to pass just slightly to the south, but here's your hail core. So this is going to push right about like this. So this is going to be very, very close to Buena Vista. So you know anybody there, or if you're there, get your car covered because we have the potential of quarter-size hail with this cell, and certainly south of Buena Vista in that southern portion of Marion County. We're going to watch out. Still getting more of those updates on watch counties being dropped. So we haven't had our last severe thunderstorm warning issued was this big one that covers a big portion of Alabama, a little portion of southwest Georgia. But no other warnings have been issued. It's been a little while. So good time to take a little sip of water here. I go full screen with the radar to spare you from, nobody wants to watch the weatherman drink water. There's just something wrong with that. I don't know. We're friends. We could do that, I guess. So severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight for the Albany area. And we're going to see that line. We'll see if it holds together. It's just really been that northern portion of the line that has been the strongest and just has not let up a bit. So Cusseta, you're in the clear, but eastern Chattahoochee County, now western Marion County, we do have that cell moving in closer and closer to you, just right over Highway 26. Pull up a couple more roads here. There's Cyclone Road. Going to be moving relatively close to Liberty Hill Road once it crosses into Marion County. As I mentioned, along Highway 26 and McAllister Road. There's that Mud Ridge Road we mentioned. Fire Tower Road. County Road 92. There's Pineville Road. So that's really going to be watching that area. There's Pineview Road just south of Buena Vista. And that's where this main cell heading right that way. And we'll be there within the next 10 minutes. By 7:20, should be in that eastern portion of Marion County. And down to the south of that, just kind of looking down into Webster County, Stewart County, here's our line here moving toward Richland. Going to be pretty breezy, but I don't see any hail associated with this part of the cell. Had some in there earlier, but not now. Just heavy rain moving in, strong wind, so that's going to continue moving in toward Preston over in Webster County. And if you are just joining us, we'll just kind of take another big look across the state. Some people get upset because I don't mention their town, but if I'm not talking about your town, that's a good thing. That means things are quiet. So everything is quiet in North Georgia. Now even more stability up there with some of those showers that move through. Light rain, South Metro Atlanta over the airport, just very, very light rain. And all the reports that I've had so far this evening, once the storms move in, they move out, it just gets stone cold quiet in a hurry. So strong winds to lead it, heavy rain, a little bit of hail, mainly in our cell that's just to the east of Cusseta, Georgia, moving, as I mentioned, toward Buena Vista. But light rain along the I-85 corridor, south of Metro Atlanta, down to LaGrange, obviously rain inside of Alabama. This is still warm, fairly unstable air in southwest Georgia. That's why we have that severe thunderstorm watch for the Albany area, Albany, Blakely, and Bainbridge until 11 tonight. And we have no watches out in the eastern portion of the state. On the other side of I-75, just doesn't look like that line's going to do anything. The line breaks and then picks back up again in the middle of South Carolina. So still a few more hours to go before this completely moves down into South Georgia. And we'll hold our broadcast here for just a little bit longer, unless we have anything that just looks very threatening. But main reason I'm here updating live is just how these storms caused so much damage in Alabama through the day today. And so we knew it had a history. And I want to make sure that everyone was up to date what's going on. This is actually looking better now. Take a look at that, unless we're getting out of radar range. Let me see. Let's flip over to Jeffersonville and see what they have to say. Yeah. Not as high reflectivity. It's still there. We're still showing that potential of hail, beginning to cross over the county line into Marion County. But this is showing some signs that it's cycling down just a bit. Don't let your guard down. Still severe, still strong winds, still that potential of hail. And as I mentioned, should be moving just slightly to the south of Buena Vista. And we're going to have some rain move in, but our hail core just staying slightly to the south, continuing to track through southern Marion County. We're watching out in Schley County and Ellaville. Will be next in line. That's why you have the warning for Schley County. There's Sumter County, northwest corner of Sumter County. Plains, I guess it's right there. It should be right there on the line. Let's see if we can zoom in and see how close it is. I mean, it's going to be right on the line. Okay. A little bit more toward the west. My geography was just a little bit off, but pretty close. So Plains in the warning polygon, Americus is not, for now. But that's subject to change. If this thunderstorm line holds together, we may get this extended out to cover the rest of Sumter County. Could get Terrell County in there. All right, coming up on 7:15 as of right now, it's 7:15. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7:30, and that covers Schley County, portions of Sumter, all of Webster, Marion County, Stewart County, and then we have a warning out to the south, which goes until 7:45, and that covers all of Quitman County, most of Randolph County, northwest Calhoun County, all the way to Edison, Georgia, Clay County, you're in there, including Bluffton and Fort Gaines, and northwest Early County until 7:45. Just taking a look at our velocity just to make sure we have no spin going on. I haven't really seen any signs of these storms wanting to even get any spin, any rotation going, which is great news. I'm trying to think. I don't think I saw a single tornado warning in Alabama through the day today. Plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings, but no tornado warning, so that's good. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now, and this goes until 8 p.m., and this looks like it's mainly Terrell County, a little portion of western Lee County, northeastern Randolph County. So this is showing 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. So if you're in Dawson, Shellman, Smithville, Sasser, Braunwood, Parrott, Bridges Crossroad, Yeomans, Clarks Mill, Graves, Armenia, Oakville, Chambliss, Oliver's Mill, Brooksville, Benevolence, need to be on standby and be in a substantial building. You don't want to be in a car, especially with those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And there is that potential of hail. Not seeing a whole lot there in that particular part of the line that's moving toward Terrell County. But we'll watch out for it. Just kind of watching this cell coming through Clayton, Alabama, out in Barber County. Pretty distinct cell here, so we'll watch out for that. That could be cruising toward Fort Gaines. I've allowed that warning to expire, but it's going to move into the warning polygon box here shortly. And I'll tell you what, we're just going to take another sweep here because we're just continuing to lose some of this energy on this storm. The reflectivity is starting to drop quite a bit. So maybe just hold it here for another 2 minutes and we'll watch another scan and then probably break off the broadcast for now. If this ramps up or we get anything more significant popping up, of course I'll go live again, no problem, but there's just not a whole lot to talk about here. I just want to take another look at the scan. Still the brightest reflectivity coming up in the extreme southeast corner of Chattahoochee County. Now across the road there of 280, US 280. So still the potential of some hail, but for the most part, this cell is starting to lose a lot of its intensity. And we have another severe thunderstorm warning. I'll pass this along to you, and then again, we'll probably just end the broadcast for now. Let's see where this warning is, who this is for. Or maybe this is one they're working on. Let's see what we have. Is this Lee, Randolph? Yeah, we already had that one. Okay. Well, I just got a notification of another severe thunderstorm warning. Unless this is an old notification. I just don't want to leave right on a warning. Yeah, okay, that's just an old notification. So we already have that. So Lee, Terrell, Randolph County, mainly Terrell County here under this warning. And we see a little bit of this warning has been updated. So clearing out Chattahoochee County, northwestern Stewart County, but still watching those storms move in toward Richland now. Still the strong reflectivity there, moving into southwest Marion County. So it is 7:20. We have no significant severe thunderstorm warnings or considerable or catastrophic. Those are two other levels that they can add on to a severe thunderstorm warning. We have no tornado warnings. We are going to continue to watch the potential of severe weather as we move through the evening. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for a good part of southwest Georgia, and that goes until 11 o'clock this evening. There it is in the yellow. So Albany, you're in there. There's Colquitt. Over to Blakely, Bainbridge, Donaldsonville. There's Lake Seminole, Camilla. This is your severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 11 o'clock tonight. So still that potential of severe weather. We will continue to monitor it and break in with live coverage as necessary. Thank you so much for watching. Good night. God bless.